All right. This is your boy Lou Like That. This is another opportunity for me to talk to you guys right here on Speak On It. And just want to let you guys know right now I'm still finishing up that series, What is the Culture? There are some things I'm just taking my time with to make sure that I'm not misinforming anybody, that I am doing my due diligence to explain exactly every aspect of how I saw the Kendrick and Drake hip hop beef unfold, as far as how the perception of who won came about. And just my personal opinion is that I don't think it was about the lyrics. I don't think it was about the bars. I don't think it was about the songs. I think it was specifically about the audience pretty much coming in with a pre-diagnosis of who should be the victor, and it was based upon factors that I believe permeates some of the things in which everyday Black culture fights about when deciding what is authentically Black and what is true Blackness. And so I just want to take my time with that and make sure that I do my due diligence with everything that I'm trying to explain, in hopes to, one, get my point across, two, provide some provocative thought, and hopefully open up the conversation for deeper things that I feel like what I feel like needs to be discussed amongst Black people, amongst the culture, and amongst hip hop. But nevertheless, what I really want to talk about right here, right now, is the recent Jay-Z interview, where he talked about how, or he stated rather, because he talked about a myriad of things, but he stated that beef and hip-hop is no longer useful. It's no longer something that he feels like needs to still exist. And at the time, many people got upset, and many people were like, just like, they don't understand why Jay-Z would say that. Beef has always been a part of hip-hop culture. They don't agree with that. And people think he's really talking about beef, and it's because people don't understand the mathematics of one Jay-Z, who they call Hov. And if you understand Jay, then you understand that he talks in code, and there's a lot of subliminal that is going on in this moment. So what I want to particularly address is that Jay-Z, by saying that beef is no longer good for hip-hop, he's not saying beef is not good for hip-hop in the sense that it doesn't drive competitiveness, or that it's not part of the layers that exist within hip-hop culture. What he's saying is, right now, that beef may not serve a purpose for where hip-hop has grown to in regards to its ability to continue to flourish and make money. Essentially, Jay-Z is waving the white flag. He's waving the flag to Drake and trying to have a conversation in code with Drake as an elder statesman of hip-hop, being Jay-Z, and that's who he is, and being the proverbial godfather of hip-hop right now, and the big brother, and the icon, and the person that everybody aspires to be, and somebody that Drake aspired to be. He's talking to Drake in code and basically telling him, like, hey, I understand that things went too far. And a lot of people may not have recognized it at the time. And hell, even I may not have recognized it at the time. But the value in which you bring to hip-hop is so great that I get it. You feel some type of way. Certain things got crossed. Certain lines got crossed. You got called a certain stigma that is really degrading, very malicious, in a way could have stifled a lot of your personal business. And there's no room for that type of behavior, especially now that we are in this space where hip-hop is generating so much revenue. And he's basically calling out to Drake in a way to say, hey, I know certain people are not going to show up and apologize. I know that it's not going to be public affair for this individual to come out and say my bad to Drake, or for those individuals that wanted to shoot shots at you. Some of them should, but it most likely won't happen. And I personally understand going through beef having problems with other artists and years later apologizing and stuff like that. I'm not saying, this is Jay-Z speaking, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but what I am saying is, as the elder statesman, I recognize that as a culture, as a genre, an apology is due to you. Why the apology is due is because they are seeing the ramifications of the absence of Drake. You may not like Aubrey Graham the person, and people may have had problems with Drake the person, but Drake the business, the ecosystem of Drake, has been so helpful, so diligent, so consistent with helping to drive hip-hop into the pop atmosphere of space. It's allowed so many artists to come through. His featuring, his cosign has given so many artists opportunities to grow their own businesses. Him bringing on the Migos, him bringing Kendrick Lamar on tour with A$AP Rocky, him doing features with J. Cole at the time, him doing features with Big Sean at the time, him shouting out just anybody, especially during a time period where he was at his most optimal white hot. It helped the ecosystem dramatically. DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, everybody, if you was rocking with Drake or had something going on with Drake, or Drake even just shouted you out and talked about you, you were given an opportunity to skyrocket and build your business and build your brand. The system was in high demand when Drake was collaborative and he was willing to work with other artists and willing to just be out here making music. Now they are seeing the ramifications of his absence. Because yes, the Kanyes, the J. Coles, the Big Seans, the Jay-Z's, the Legacy Acts, the Drakes, these artists that have already established their brand, they're considered to be legacy acts, they will make money. They will sell shows. They will sell tickets. It's going to happen for them. But the ecosystem in which hip-hop allowed the underlying artists, the underground artists, to get in, to come in and make a few thousand here, a couple 100,000 over here, because the demand of hip-hop is so great, that is starting to lose. So now you're starting to see more and more and more layoffs, more and more displacement of individuals who participate in the hip-hop genre. From industry execs to street teams to A&Rs to DJs to radio personalities. We're watching radio shows get dismantled. We're seeing radio shows turn into podcasts to be on Netflix. Like, it's becoming a situation where hip-hop itself, the genre that used to be so demanding, such a high demand, where corporations, TV shows, film, and all of these things wanted to buy in to get a piece because it was so volatile in a positive way. Now they're pulling out. Now they're not as interested in hip-hop. They don't need the hip-hop acts no more. Hip-hop is still streaming well, but the revenue that it generates is no longer the same. The demand that it once had is no longer the same. And Jay-Z, being the elder statesman of this genre, is foreseeing like, yo, the money that used to be in hip-hop is about to dry up. The corporations, the brand ambassadors, the brand ambassador opportunities, the film, the TV opportunities, commercial opportunities, product opportunities, that is about to leave the genre of hip-hop. Because hip-hop is no longer demanding the same weight that it did before. Sure, people will consume it still at a high rate because streaming is only $9.99 for most platforms. So yeah, people will still listen to the music, but it doesn't mean that the corporations are still bought into how it can produce revenue for them. Because it's not as hot no more. Country is about to take things over. Just general pop music is about to take things over. R&B may or may not make a resurgence and become more of a corporate demand. Who knows? But hip-hop, due to the absence of Drake, is going to suffer and is suffering. And I know this is happening so much so because right now, some of the same voices that were loud at one point or indifferent on Drake. They're backpedaling. Some of them are slightly apologizing or just kind of being like, well, maybe things got a little out of hand. There's a lot of that happening right now, which tells me there's a lot of things being on code, and it starts from the top, which is Jay-Z. His messaging is very simple. Our bad. We waving a flag. Drake, come back. Now, honestly, if I'm Drake and I'm his team, I'm 40, I'm OVO, this Iceman album will be on the way like y'all was waiting on a detox from Drake. That's how this album will go. Iceman will turn into the detox so fast. Iceman on the way. It will be the phrase from me and my team forever. And the reason why is because you pushed me out. UMG wanted to take my leverage because they didn't want to pay me what I deserve. Y'all used Kendrick as a catalyst to go against me, to try to lessen my value. So now everybody needs to wait and lean on Kendrick Lamar Duckworth to provide you the collaborations, to provide you the hits, to provide you the smashes for the summer, like I've been doing for the last decade. Rely on him to show and prove the consistency in which he can generate top #1 songs, generate songs for other artists, #1 hits for other artists, bring in new acts. Rely on him the way that I was doing things. Because that's y'all man's, right? That's who the culture chose, right? Rely on him. I would be sitting back in Canada or wherever I'm at, chilling with the guys, working on this album, Iceman, like J. Cole worked on the Fall Off. You ain't gonna never know when you gonna get this album. That's how I would be doing this if I was Drake. Rely on Kendrick. That's who y'all chose. So, Jay-Z waving a flag may or may not entice Drake to come back into the fold. But if I'm him, I have so much wrath and vengeance pent up inside of me that I don't care who comes out to say what they need to say. Hove, Kanye, it don't matter who comes out. None of my idols, I don't care. What happened to me on public display was insane. The names that people was willing to call me for a year was insane. And the fact that I still got through it in a way, feeling unscathed to a point where people still waiting on the next album. Oh yeah, it's up. Up, up, and away. Forever. Forever. If I'm Drake. That's how I would be feeling. Forever. And I'm going to make y'all make this dude show and prove that he can do half of the work that I did for this genre. And when he even does prove it, that's when I'll drop Iceman to show you that even at his best, he can't do half of the shit that I do. That's what I would do if I was Drake. It will be Iceman on the way forever until Kenny show up. That's how I would play it if I was Drake. But we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to get that out there because there's a lot of hoopla around it and people are not being honest about the truth. Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, all these other people still want to pretend like Drake is not who he is. And I'm not even the biggest. I'm a Drake fan. Out of the big three, I'm more of a Cole fan. Cole is really the guy for me, personally. But I understand what Drake brings to the table and what he's meant to this game and what he's meant to this ecosystem. And it's greater than what Cole and Kendrick can do combined. I just have a personal favorite out of the three, but I'm not dumb enough to make it seem like I don't know who has the greater impact. You feel me? So, I'm just saying, Jay-Z waving the flag. We'll see if Drake cares to answer the call. But that's been your boy Lou Like That. We'll speak on it. Remember, like I said, I'm still working on that What is the Culture Chronicle. Episode 1 is out now based upon how colorism played a role in the beef between Drake and Kendrick. So episode 2 for that series, What is the Culture, will be coming soon, but I just wanted to get this out. But today is 420. I'm going to try, and be responsible today. I hope everybody can be responsible today, if you know what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, before I start getting a little bit responsible, I want to say cheers to 420. Cheers to 4 Roses. And cheers to you all. Peace, blessings, and prosperity to you, your family, your loved ones. I hope you all are in good health. If you're not, I wish you in good health. I pray for you in good health. And I hope everybody can achieve the goals that they want in life. It's been your boy Lou Like That. Speak on it. Peace.